Curtains. This is a early 80s horror slasher film, released by the Alliance Atlantis Film Group, March 4th, 1983, starring John Vernon and Samantha Egger, produced by Richard Simpson, written by Robert Guza Jr., and it was directed by Jonathan Stryker. That's actually the pseudonym. His real name's Richard Sipka. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, it's directed by Richard Sipka under the pseudonym Jonathan Stryker, which is what everyone uses when directors use when they disown the work and they don't want to be affiliated with it anymore. Sort of like The Birds 2 and I think Troll 2 and stuff like that have it. So, yeah. But Richard Supka, I think that's how you pronounce his last name anyways, has done he's more of like a cinematographer on films like The Mysterious Miss C, Last Breath, Coyote, Duo. But yeah. This film had a budget of $3.7 million because this came out in the slasher craze. Friday the 13th Part 2 was out. I think Part 3 might have been out as well. But yeah, it was right in the middle of the slasher craze. But this one had a little more substance to it. It wasn't just a run-of-the-mill slasher film. It's about a director who's looking for the perfect girl leading role. And he brings them all to his house. And there's this someone is too eager to have this role and fall in love with the director, where they go on a killing spree. There's about 6 to 8 girls, and one of them goes on a killing spree with an old lady mask and slowly kills off the competition. It's a pretty good, simple little premise and a very creepy killer costume setup with a lot of good gags and stuff in it too. A lot of good kills are in it. You have a little bit of everything. There's a dancer, there's a comedian who likes stand up. There's even an actress who spends like a month in a insane asylum to try to get the part and get into that mindset, which is a little jarring. And yeah, it's a pretty well put together slasher film. It's a slow burn, but it's a good slow burn. Very meticulous in what they're gonna little bits they're gonna hints and stuff they're gonna feed you, and it always keeps you guessing. But also, all the girls look the same, so you pretty much have no idea who it is until the very end. And yeah, I love how they set it up and how well they do. There's like near the end chase sequence in the prop house is pretty well executed. It's dark, eerie, and almost like The Burning, that type of slasher film. But yeah, it's definitely a little more toned down though. Not as violent as The Burning. Sorry. Yeah, it's a pretty decent slasher film. That's all I can say. Has a little more thought put into it than some of the other ones. Too bad that it's like it has a cult following, but it's not super big anymore. And yeah, it's a fun little slow burn, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. But for me, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. Things I didn't like about it were some of the characters are pretty boring and yeah, weren't well developed. But most of them are just throwaway characters anyways. So, yeah. But for me, I thought it was a pretty good slasher film. It's definitely a little dated now. But yeah, it's a good little surprise hit again. Last video I had a Hoboken Hollow. Today we found Curtains, and it's a pretty decent slasher film. If you like slasher films and you haven't seen this, check it out. So, yeah, Curtains. I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 because what's not to like about a good slasher film? But it's definitely not getting the perfect score because I have to absolutely love everything about it. But there is certain things that are dull and dumb, but for the most part, it's enjoyable and fun, and a good guessing cat and mouse type slasher film. So yeah, there's a trailer link down below if you want to check it out. If you haven't seen it or heard about this film, there's that's linked down below, so you check that out. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my stories. So make sure you follow me there to stay in the loop. Usually hide the film title in a hashtag, and the subgenre of films are also linked there too. So in case it's something you're not interested in, you're aware of it just because that's how I am, or in case it's something that you absolutely love, you can definitely check it out. So yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram to stay in the loop. Like this video, share it somewhere people are aware of it, and we could revive the great slasher craze of the '80s. And yeah, yeah, that's about it. So make sure you subscribe because you never know what I'm going to talk about next. Hopefully, the next one's another good slasher film, maybe a B movie or so. Hopefully, I'm not sure yet. Got one more to check out, then I'm not sure what I'm going to do after that. So, yeah. Uh, yeah, so comment your opinions, the curtains down below. If you've seen it, and if you have any other films that you want to hear my opinions on, comment those down below. I'll try my best to get them as soon as I can if I can find them. So, yeah, but watch out for all those killers dressed up like evil women, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So, cheers.